The United States Coast Guard is tracking a suspected Russian spy ship that has been spotted in international waters off the coast of Hawaii. This as tensions between Washington and Moscow over Russia's war in Ukraine are ever present.
The Coast Guard says they've been tracking this ship for several weeks now and believe that it is a Russian intelligence gathering ship. In plain language, a spy ship that's been hanging out in international waters off the coast of Hawaii. Coast Guard has been monitoring this with the help of the Defense Department. It's not illegal or in any way uncommon for Russian intelligence gathering ships or frankly other ships and other aircraft to be in international waters or international airspace, gathering intelligence, essentially picking up what they can in international waters. It's the timing here that makes this interesting.
NATO countries and other allies are going to be meeting at America's Ramstein Air Base in Germany on Friday to discuss sending more support, including modern battle tanks. Ukraine's President Zelensky says he's expecting strong decisions from the meeting. The US has already announced it will provide $2.5 billion worth of new weaponry and munitions for Ukraine, although that doesn't include tanks. Now, the most senior UN delegation to visit Afghanistan since the Taliban seized power has flown into Kabul to raise concerns about restrictions on women working for aid agencies. The visit by the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed comes as some international aid organisations partially resume work in Afghanistan after receiving assurances that women can work in healthcare.
The Santa Fe District Attorney has just announced it is charging Alec Baldwin with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter for shooting and killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injuring director Joel Souza during a rehearsal in October of 2021. The movie's armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who was in charge of guns and ammunition on set, is also charged with involuntary manslaughter, while assistant director Dave Halls took a plea deal in the case. Baldwin was rehearsing a scene with the prop gun when it went off. He's also a producer of the film. And one big question in the case is how a live round was loaded into that gun.
Now to the surprise from New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, announcing at a news conference that she is stepping down next month. Ardern rose to global stardom for her leadership when the pandemic hit.
At the Modibo Keita International Airport in Bamako, Malian authorities received a new delivery of several warplanes and helicopters from Russia, its new major military and political ally. 10 aircraft were counted on ground and in the air, 8 planes and 2 helicopters during the ceremony. Malian officials did not give a detailed breakdown of how many of each aircraft have been delivered, and while they say they purchased the weapons, they have released no details of the transactions. This is the latest series of similar Russian deliveries of military equipment following others in March and August 2022.
At least 2 people have been killed in a crowd crush ahead of a football match. Now, over 60 were injured, with some in serious condition. The crush on Thursday local time happened outside Basra International Stadium ahead of the Arabian Gulf Cup final between Iraq and Oman. Iraq was hosting the tournament for the first time. Officials say the crush began when tens of thousands of fans moved toward the stadium hoping to be allowed in, despite not having tickets. The stadium was still closed at the time of the incident. Now, despite the crush, the match was allowed to go ahead. Iraq won the game 3-2.
A Russian court has rejected complaints by jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny about his prison conditions. Appearing in front of a judge via video link, Navalny claimed that he was being held illegally and asked that communication with his wife be maintained.
Please tell Yulia that for some reason letters are not coming through from her again, and I'm passing all sorts of greetings to her and the children. And if she doesn't receive an answer from me, it's because I've run out of her forms. I can't even write to her myself.
The hearing took place amid reports on the deterioration of Navalny's health and calls from his wife and allies urging prison staff to provide basic medicines. The 46-year-old is serving a 9-year sentence on fraud charges in a maximum security prison colony.